Hey, James.
Good evening. How are you?
Doing well. How are you?
Good. Seems like we keep losing people.
Yeah, that happens. I mean, if he's West Coast, I can certainly understand that. Scheduling a game on a work night at 5 p.m., I mean, that's almost never going to work.
Yeah, there's no way. The reason why I picked this one is because Thursday nights are I'm a father of 7 children, and so Thursday nights are like the one night of the week that happens to work, and I'm East Coast like you, so 8 o'clock I can barely make it work.
Yeah. Oh, I can imagine. With 7 kids, it's amazing you have time to remember what your name is.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah, my oldest is out of the house, but my youngest is he's about to turn 3. So
oh, wow. Okay.
So still got 6 at home.
So you have a nice big spread there.
We do. It's a decent size. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. But with that many kids, it's like there's probably not that many, big, huge gaps where they all kind of have somebody to more or less grow up with.
Yeah, it's interesting. We've got the 3 older ones. They were all pretty close, and then there was a big gap of about 3 or 4 years, and then we've got the 3 younger ones, and then a few years gap, and then the last one. So,
okay,
it's nice because we've got the 3 older ones, and they take care of the 3 younger ones. So
that is nice. Built-in babysitters.
That's right. That's right. Definitely helps.
Yeah, and with these days, with all of the activities and clubs and sports and other things, volunteer stuff, it's like they're going all the time.
Yeah, our two of our younger ones are in basketball, and so tonight is their practice, and so I go to the one practice and I come home, and then my wife's still with the other one. She'll be home in a little bit.
Oh, okay.
It works out.
Hey, Michael.
Hey, guys.
How are you doing?
I might have my house back before the end of the month.
Your house back?
My house burnt down May 27th, and
oh my goodness!
What?
Yeah, I've been out of my house almost a year.
Holy cow! Why did it burn down?
Barbecue grill caught the deck on fire. The deck caught the side of the house, and the side of the house
Ouch.
went up.
Oh.
But the crazy part about it was the barbecue grill was over. It wasn't right next to the house like most people think. It was actually probably about 70, 80, 90 feet from on the deck. It wasn't even nowhere near.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
So it didn't catch the vinyl or nothing like what happens with most people. It caught the deck, and then the deck caught the house.
Oh.
So it must have been going for a while before anyone saw it.
Yeah, my neighbors are the ones that caught it. We were at the hospital. I didn't expect to be gone for 6 hours.
So were you cooking something and then you took off, or what? How happened?
I was cooking something, then I thought I turned it off. It was a gas grill. It wasn't a charcoal grill. It was a gas grill, and I thought that I cut the damn thing off because it was an emergency. My son was pretty much almost like narcoleptic, just laying there, wasn't doing nothing, and come to find out, yeah, it was bad. And so we got him there. They pumped him full of IVs and everything else, and about 6 hours later, they released us. And on the way home, my phone was dead, but somebody finally calls my wife's phone and says, "Guys, let y'all know your house just burnt down."
Oh no, it's horrible.
So when we got back to the house, it was a mess. It was. But no, what I've been waiting on for the past year, the house is already built on the factory. We got another manufactured home. It's done, but The thing is just getting it put in. So it took another 4 months to get the mortgage company to cut the check to pay the contractor to put it in.
Wow.
So that's all we're waiting on now is weather, because hell, it's been raining the past 3 days, and it's going to rain next week, and hell, it's going to snow.
Yeah, and it feels like hurricane season here now.
Yeah, we've had quite a bit of rain today in Virginia, so.
Yeah, Florida, it's been windy all day, and it's supposed to be stormy later tonight between about 11 a.m. and about 4 a.m. or 11 p.m. and 4 a.m. It's supposed to be really stormy overnight.
Oh.
So.
Yeah, it's been, like I said, it's been raining 3 days here, and now it's going to snow.
Oh, geez.
I'm in Tennessee.
Tennessee, 3 days. Which part of Tennessee are you in?
I'm right now in Bot Aqua, which is West Tennessee, but I'm from Nashville. That's where my house is. So, Middle Tennessee.
So, I know East Tennessee is getting it too, because that's the place I'm following.
Oh Lord, did you see what the Little Pigeon River and stuff in Gatlinburg? It's flooded.
I did. I saw a guy that does some YouTubing out there. He had a video of that.
Yeah, I've never seen it that bad.
Well, they closed River Road. They closed another roads.
River Road? Are you in Nashville?
No, River Road in Gatlinburg.
Oh yeah, there's one there too. Duh. Well, I imagine they closed River Road in Nashville too, because it's right next to the Cumberland, so that wouldn't surprise me. I was pulling people out of houses in the flood of 2010.
Oh yeah, I read about that one today.
Yeah, it wasn't fun.
Here I was thinking I was heading to a place that didn't have any natural problems.
Welcome to Tennessee. If you don't like the weather, stay around 5 minutes. We'll have winter, spring, summer, and fall in the same week.
Well, I come from Ohio, so we've had that. I've had that before. There are certain disadvantages to having 6 months of the same season, because it's 90 degrees every day in Florida for 6 months straight. And yeah, we get these big rains, but then if you wait like 5 minutes, if the rain is gone, it's all dried up. And part of the air, which would be.
Yeah, and then it becomes a sauna. Oh no.
Uh-oh. What's going on?
Oh, ouch. Okay, so Wesley is sick, and he won't be able to join us tonight. All right. Thanks for the heads up. Hope you get to better soon, and hope the kids recover quickly. All right. Yes. So, Barnowl apparently, Hylan, our cleric, was on the West Coast. And so after a few weeks, he finally realized that trying to play D&D at 5 o'clock on a work night, 5 o'clock his time on a work night, just was not going to cut it. So it's like, I can't say that surprises me at all. But of course, you never know what people's schedules are, whether they work third shift or first shift or, whatever it is. So he will not be joining us, and it looks like we won't be having Gorrim tonight. Vern, doesn't look okay. There you are. I was about to say it doesn't look like you're logged into Roll20 yet. I guess what this means is to as much as I'm trying to keep the party closer in level, it probably means we're going to have an even little bit wider split in level. I did have Wesley level up Gorrim last week because he kind of took the MVP of that fight with the orcs. So that felt like, okay, yeah, that was good enough reason to go ahead and give him a level there. And if we finish this section tonight, that'll be one more level for the three of you guys. And then I don't know, we know we've had one person for sure that's bowing out, and it seems like it's going to be a while before Rookie or Gabriel would be able to come back and join us. So I might go ahead after this week and reopen the game to see if other people want to hop in and play. If they do, I'll probably put them in at second level or something like that, just so they won't be too far behind the curve and mess everything up in terms of the encounters. So this is Thursday night. It's a few minutes after 8. I am DM Gallibond, and it is time for the Dragon of Icespire Peak. Last time when we left our heroes, they had just arrived at Gnomengard. Gnomengard, which is an enclave of gnomes that is fairly famous for their manufacture of wonderful little magical toys. And so let me go ahead and center us and okay, get everything on the map here. I'm going to go ahead and see about getting rid of that marker, and then I'm just going to take Gorrim, and I'm going to put him on the DM or the GM layer. All right. So when you all arrived, Finn had seen the gnomes out having a good time, and because the idea here is to let them know about the danger, and everybody looked like it was a nice, peaceful scene, we decided to start some music, and that got the gnomes kind of excited, and they started getting into the act with their little light shows, their prestidigitation and whatnot, and that attracted some of the other gnomes from inside to come out. And at the very end of the session, Quippy had run up and extended a hand to Finn and had started telling him all about the plans that he and his buddy Fizzledib have for opening a bar at which they will use visual and audio enhancements for the bards, and it'll be the place that all the bards across the Sword Coast want to come and play. So he is very excited about having a real live musician in the camp, and they had invited everybody to come inside because it is getting a little bit close to dark, and they were getting ready to have supper. So, what does everybody want to do at this point?
You had mentioned something about that we saw those large mushrooms on those islands. I guess we're a little bit too far to kind of make any checks on those as we're walking inside, correct?
Oh yeah, you can see them, and in fact, yes, there are. There are several different colors of mushrooms. There's primarily red mushrooms and primarily green mushrooms, and mushrooms that have that are primarily purple. So you have some red and green ones on this island, and some purple and green ones on this island.
Can I roll a nature check to see if I know anything about them?
You sure can. Let's see, 16. You're not that familiar with this variety. You know that different mushrooms have quite a few different properties that they can have, but these are not ones that are familiar to you.
Got you.
Let's see, Dorzaphir.
I say we join these gnomes for a bit of grub.
Okay, now you guys should be able to move your tokens around. I don't think for some reason they weren't set that assigned to the characters. So, all right, and so they all lead you in, and they say, well, we should go over to the dining hall. The dining hall should be wonderful this time. This time of night, they ought to be getting the dinner ready in the kitchens. Come on, follow us through the halls. And so they will lead you through basically this section of their of their complex. And then getting over here, they'll go ahead and reveal the rest of this area here. Over into here. And then let's see. Going on up into this area. And then finally on into this area here. Okay, so this guy Fizzlestub, he'll come on over this way, and as you get into this one area, Fizzlestub will stop, and he will hold up a hand to Abinadom and to Dorzaphir, because as you get in here, you see what looks like two large turnstiles that, instead of being stationary and having to push through them, they are outfitted with blades which are spinning rapidly. Mm-hmm. And so Fizzlestub walks over here to this wall, and there's a little brass lever that is currently in the down position. and he pushes the lever up, and it and these blades, they come to a stop, and then he says, "All right, it's all clear, fellas, but don't push that lever back down, because then it'll chop you up." Hee 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 hee. And so he runs through, and then there's this bridge outside, and he goes across the bridge. And anybody who ever accused gnomes of making an easy path to get around their complex would be sadly mistaken. So then he comes through here. Oh, you pass by over here. You pass by a couple of guards.
Hello. How are you?
And they say, "Oh, hi." And the one on the left says, "Well, I see you're with Fiddlestub, so you must be okay. But just for the records, what's your name?"
"My name is Abinadom."
"Abinadom, okay." And the guy on the left says, "I'm Ula, and this is Pog." He says to the right. "Okay, Abinadom." And Pog pulls out like a ledger, and he starts scratching down, and he says, "Abinadom. Oh, I got it." And he just jots it down, and then he looks at Finn, and he says, "Whoa, a musician. What's your name, sir?"
F-I-double-N Finn. Good God.
Finn. F-I-double-N Finn. Good God. Okay, got it.
Put an exclamation point in there.
Oh, absolutely, sir. And then they look over at Dorzaphir, and they say, "And you, sir, what's your name?"
Dorzaphir.
"Oh, Dorzaphir. All right. Okay, so we got an elf. We got 2 humans. All right. Oh, bunch of tall guys here.
I give him a slight bow. Just bow. "Thank you, sirs."
We haven't had this many tall people here. In a couple of months at least." "Okay. Well, enjoy dinner." And so then Fizzlestub keeps going on through, and he says, "Oh, fellas, this is a really cool invention we're working on. This is our platform for auto-loading crossbows. Now, the thing that's really cool about this is if you shoot your crossbow and then you bring it in here and you put it on this platform, it'll automatically load it for you. Isn't that cool?"
"Well, what if the fight is outside?"
Oh, that's a good point. What if the fight's outside? Well, see, first we have to get the concept right, and then we can figure out how to miniaturize it. Right now, this is just in the conceptual phase.
Oh, okay, I got you.
And here, let me show you how it works. And so he runs over here, and there's a little steel lever on the wall, and it is placed in the up position, and he pulls it down, and you can see that these crossbows are on like a turntable, and there's no bolts there. In fact, over here there's a barrel that has bolts in it, but there don't appear to be any bolts in here. Now he says, "Now this, we can demonstrate it because the mechanism isn't loaded at this time." And so when he
and I'm carefully standing out of the way just in case. I'm in between two crossbows. So
I wrote a dex save just in case.
yeah, I don't trust him.
Okay, well, he pulls it down, and you can hear like some gears somewhere starting to turn, and then this turntable turns 90 degrees, and then you hear a ratcheting on the crossbow that's pointed over at Fiddlestub, and it's like, and then you hear it click, and then the turntable turns another 90 degrees so that one is pointed up this hallway here, and you hear this like something is trying to go, and then it turns another 90 degrees, and meanwhile the other one is going click, 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 and loading that. And then there's a target bolted to this wall here. And when the crossbow that got loaded first spins around and is pointed at this wall, you hear a twing, and it releases, and of course nothing shoots because it's not loaded. It says, "See, that's really cool. This will load it and then spin it and then fire it. But like you say, the fight's outside for right now. Yeah, that's the next step, is trying to figure out how to get it so it'll work anywhere that we need it to. But we have to have the power of the underground river to make it work at this point, and then we'll figure out how to mechanize that and miniaturize it and power it with magic so that it'll work. But yeah, that's basically the way it works." And then he throws the lever back up and everything grinds to a halt. He says, isn't that cool, fellas?
That is amazing.
Excellent.
Proof of concept, bro. You're going to change warfare.
Oh, that would be great. Okay, we're almost there. Man, I'm hungry running through all of this, all this complex here. And so he comes over here, and there's a not pictured in the room is a table that the table is set up to comfortably seat about 12 gnomes. And so he says, "Oh, you gotta check this out." And he takes two of the chairs and he stacks two of the chairs on top of each other. And then he takes like a little clasp and clasps them together. And when he does, the chair actually rises up and spreads out, and the two gnome-sized chairs become a single chair that's sized for a medium creature instead of a small creature. And so he does that twice more with two more of the chairs. And he says, isn't that cool? We figured out how to have the furniture adjust for your guests. So we're gonna be able to try to sell these in places like Waterdeep and Baldur's Gate, where the nobles, they might want to try. They might be entertaining large numbers of people, and you never know whether you're going to have more gnomes or more humans or even more Goliaths. And so if you have to put some of these you have to rearrange the furniture, that way you don't have to have all different sizes of chairs. You can just put enough chairs together and make the size chair that you want. Isn't that great?
It's going to revolutionize the furniture industry.
It's better than IKEA.
What's IKEA?
I don't know. It just came to me.
I have no idea.
yeah. Oh, there's something. Wow. Oh, you may have to talk to some of our marketing people. I think there's a seed of a name that we can work with there. IKEA. Oh, that's so cool. And so meanwhile, while he's doing all of that, all these other gnomes make their way over here. Not all of them come to dinner at one time, but it's like a couple of them come in over here, and then a few of them just tend to go wandering around to other places in the complex, and they're dealing with other things. And then this one says, Fiddlestep, you get the guests seated, and I'm gonna go check on what's happening with dinner. And he says, okay. So this guy, he runs off this way, and you hear a door down that hallway. Actually, I'm guessing that you guys could probably see down that hallway, so I'll go ahead and clear out that hallway for you so you can see what's down there. You hear a door at the end of the hallway open, and you hear him say, hey, fellas, we got guests for dinner. It's tall ones, so they're probably going to have double plates. What's on the menu tonight? And so you hear this excited, ooh, and so one of these guys will come out and says, oh, I'll come tell them. And he comes out here and he says, oh, hello. I'm Dimble. I'm one of the cooks tonight. We are just perfecting our mushroom meat. It's amazing. We've learned how to take mushrooms and make them taste like different kinds of meat. So we can bring you whatever you want. We have mushroom turkey, we have mushroom mutton, and we have mushroom beef. What do you guys want?
I'll take the mushroom beef, please.
Same here. Make that 2.
You're going to have to beef all the mutton.
Oh, wow. I can bring you some of both if you want.
And I want to do a quick insight check.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm looking at my character sheet too.
Okay, go ahead.
I don't think I have anything that applies, but check it.
Yeah, I think everybody has insight. It's just a matter of whether you have any bonuses in it or not.
It's not insight that I'm looking.
It's a horrible insight.
Yeah. Okay. Abinadom, you think that this Dimple is perfectly sincere. Dorzaphir, you think that he is sincere in believing that they've just about perfected it. But,
nice.
But you're not sure what a gnome's interpretation of perfect is.
Well, what's funny is I think we're all going to be rolling Constitution checks when this is over, fellas.
Yeah. Or I don't think my prestidigitation is going to make it better for us.
I'm going to say nobody's got the purify food and water.
No.
Not purify. I'm looking for detect.
I've got detect magic.
There's detect magic. There's nature. There's arcana. I can see affecting all this.
Well, probably if you wanted to find out anything about the food, you'd probably have to wait until the food is in front of you.
Sure.
And then maybe doing like a nature check or a perception check or possibly even a survival check on it. Of course.
Oh, yeah.
of course, depending on how much they've processed it or what kind of processes they put it through, you may wind up with greater or lesser success.
I get over close to Abinadom and whisper in his ear. I said, "Hey, mate, can you just run a detect magic when they bring out the food for me, please?"
Yeah, well, I'm thinking about having Bandit fly over and check out the mushrooms again, do a nature check while we're sitting here waiting for our food.
Sounds about right. I'll watch you back.
Okay.
I think I'm within 100 feet of the mushroom still.
I believe that you are. Oh yeah, you're easily within. You're within 100 feet of any of them, so you could check out.
While we're sitting here, I want to trance into Bandit. I don't have his icon.
Okay, let me grab him. I think we put. What did we do? We put him on here somewhere. Ah, yes, there he is. Bandit token.
Sweet.
Yeah, okay. It's always going to do this. So, set dimensions. 35. You have to set it every time. And now, are you able to move him around?
No, not yet.
Okay, so now let me... this is... I'm going to do Bandit. Controlled by... Abinadom. Okay, and...
Oh, I got him.
Yep, so now you should be able to move him around. Okay.
All right, so I'm going to fly him over here and do a nature check.
Okay, meanwhile, the gnome runs into the kitchen. Okay, so you do your nature check. Oh!
It's a natural 20.
Natural
nice.
20. Okay, nice, yes. Well, he flies down and starts looking at these, and he can see that the red ones, they seem a little oily.
Oily?
Oily, yes.
Okay.
Kind of like natural plant oils, like like maybe olive oil or something like that. But there seems to be like a natural oil that is on these red ones. The green ones look like they look like large versions of what you know to be edible mushrooms that you find in the forest. Now, normally these are little mushrooms that are maybe 2 to 4 inches tall, but these specimens are about 2 to 3 feet tall, and they just are enormous. But otherwise, they look almost exactly like gigantic versions of these other mushrooms that you know to be edible. And then when he flies over the purple ones, the purple ones are, it's a little bit tough to tell much about them because they are very different than any other kind of mushroom that you've seen. But they look wildly colorful, and as far as you can tell, they're natural. But it's just you haven't run into anything like that. So, maybe those are something that were at one time native to the Underdark, and they've managed to cultivate them up here, or something, because it's just really different.
Okay.
Than what you're used to.
And I can't, and looking at them, they don't appear to be given any magic aura. They look to be, for all intents and purposes, just naturally growing. It's just that the red is oily, the green is larger than normal, and the purple is just purple. Mm-hmm. Correct? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'll go ahead and snap back into the room, and I'll whisper to Dorzaphir. I'll say, my a bandit checked it out, and the red mushrooms are a little oily. I couldn't really tell. It didn't seem to have any other different characteristics other than looking oily. The green mushrooms, they look just like the normal 2 to 4 inch green mushrooms that I've seen before, but these ones are super big. They're just large. And the purple, I've never seen anything like the purple ones before. So that's all I could tell from my checks.
Interesting. DM.
Yes.
Because I'm proficient with a poisoner's kit, would I know what that oil on the big red ones would be?
No, probably not without going out and examining it yourself. Certainly not from just somebody telling you about it. I mean, you would at least have to see it for yourself to know. And while you guys are sitting there talking, this little guy right here, he turns to Finn. He says, "Hey, my name's Zook. How are you doing?"
Hey, Zook, what's up?
Oh, well, I just wanted to know. I mean, you're a musician. You've probably traveled a lot of places. You've probably seen a lot of strange things. Have you ever tried mushroom meat before?
Mushroom meat? No, it's the first time I heard of it, man.
Oh, well, those really tasty little green mushrooms that you find in the forest? We figured out how to grow them really, really big. They grow really well right here. There's something about the soil in this area that really makes them grow big. And we found out you can do all kinds of things for them. Now, they'll be bringing out the bread, and believe it or not, the bread is actually made from mushroom flour that comes from those green mushrooms. And the mushroom meat, we take the mushrooms and we grind it up and we put it into a paste. And then we're able to take flavoring that we get from some of the meat that we've had, and you mix it in, and it tastes just like the meat. And the chefs are getting pretty good at making the consistency. So the turkey not only tastes like turkey, but it actually kind of looks like turkey, and it cuts like turkey. And the same with the beef and the mutton as well. You're really going to love it. You're in for a treat.
And all that's from the soil, you think?
Well, yeah. Well. Now, I don't like to brag too much, but I am one of the lead horticulturists. So, we do have kind of green thumbs. Green mushrooms, get it? So we're able to get it to grow, but yeah, even the biggest ones I've been able to grow in a lab anywhere else only get to about 8 inches tall. These are as big as I am.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Okay, how many times have you had these? How many times have you eaten like this?
No, we eat it all the time. That's practically all we have. And then we have the mushroom wine.
Mushroom wine. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah. You saw the purple? You saw the purple ones out there? You can actually juice those and then ferment the juice, and it makes a mushroom wine.
Ferment the juice of if you ferment the juice of a purple mushroom, it makes a mushroom wine.
Yeah. In fact, they probably ought to be bringing some out. And so a couple of minutes later, Nyx comes back. And in fact, Nyx is bringing a tray that has a couple of baskets on it. And as he gets close, you all smell it. It smells like fresh baked bread. And he puts these baskets out on the table. They're covered with napkins. And you pull the napkins back, and it looks like loaves of bread. And Zook says, "Yeah, see that's made with mushroom flour." And it smells like bread, and it looks like bread. And then about the time that he gets that set down, another gnome comes out with a big platter that has 2 pitchers on it. And Nick says, "Oh, hey, up and down. You brought the wine?" And he says, "Yeah, I brought the wine." And he puts the pitcher down, and there's a dark liquid in the pitcher. And then the Zook says, "Can I pour wine for everybody?"
Sure.
And so he pours some wine for you, and he looks at
none for Abinadom. I don't imbibe in alcoholic drinks.
Oh, okay. Well, we got water. That's fine. And then he looks at Finn. He says, "You want some wine?"
Yeah, I think so, Gray.
Okay. So he pours the wine. Now that you two have wine in your glasses, what do you do? And he pours it for the other gnomes, and the other gnomes just grab their glasses and they start drinking, and then they look at the two of you expectantly.
I take a sip.
Okay. Imagine Dorzaphir, if you will, a dark reality in which there is wine that tastes like it's made from fermented soil. That's kind of what this wine tastes like, only slightly less acidic. It's got a little bit of a sweet note as it touches the tongue, and then it's like super, super, super dry finish. And the aftertaste is very tart.
It's not my favorite, but it's not horrible.
And Finn, you experience the same thing. If Finn takes a sip, he experiences the same thing. And Zook looks at Dorzaphir and shrugs, and then he looks over at Anverth, who's over here next to him, and he says, "Yeah, see, Anverth, I told you that it's still not quite right. You guys in the winery have to work a little bit more at getting the flavor just right. Dorzaphir, what if you wanted it to taste a little bit better? What would you do? Do you think it needs to be sweeter? Does it need to be drier? What's the issue with it?" And when
I dropped and came back on.
Yeah.
It was me.
And now we can't hear him.
Oh,
He was quiet.
yeah, Dorzaphir. Yeah, whatever was happening with your microphone a few weeks ago, Dorzaphir, I think it's happening again.
Test 1, 2, test.
Yeah, still.
Yeah, that's exactly what was happening a few weeks ago, right there.
Right.
Give me a sec.
Okay.
Back up to double the volume.
Test 1, 2.
Nope. You're still way low.
Okay, I'm gonna go over here and.
And while we've been sitting here, I've been working on casting Detect Magic as a ritual. It takes me about 10 minutes.
Okay. All right. Okay, so we will deal with Dorzaphir's assessment of what the wine needs in a minute. Okay. While the detect magic is going on, is there anything Finn wants to do?
Well, more importantly, how does it taste to you guys?
Dry.
I didn't drink any, but this water is fantastic.
No, not you guys. Those guys.
Oh.
Well, Zook says, "Oh, us? Well, I kind of like it. There's some with the aftertaste that still needs to be worked on because it's a little too tart, but it's kind of got a nice balance where it starts a little sweet and it finishes kind of dry, so it's kind of crisp in that way, and it has notes of the undersoil that just are really kind of give it that really earthy and loamy sort of taste that's just wonderful in a wine. I know that so many people, and he turns to Abinadom and he says, "Begging your pardon, Sir Elf, but I know so many people really like elvish wine, but to me it's just too sweet. It tastes almost like honey, and honey is fine, but I don't want to drink glasses and glasses and glasses of honey. I want something a little more refreshing, and this is nice, but." To Dorzaphir's point here, if it doesn't sell well in the human cities, if we can't sell kegs of it at the Yawning Portal in Waterdeep, for instance, then it's got a very limited market that we can reach, and that's really what we want to do. We want to really be able to have an enterprise that stretches all across the Sword Coast.
Well, it sounds like you're getting close. Maybe it's just put a little bit more effort into it, and eventually you'll get there.
No, hold on just a second there, though, guy, because this is important. It tastes like nothing I've had before, but we're pretty much on the right page between you and I. The thing about, we're pretty close. But the thing about something that tastes like nothing else is the people that drink it, they feel like they're special because of that. So if you take something like this and you sell it to the nobility.
That's a good point.
And he
a little bit sweeter. It's too dry on the tongue. I like the earthen tones. Just needs a little bit of sweetener.
But if you can't get it anywhere else but here, it does add to the extra effect of the rarity and the exclusivity of the wine that you are providing.
The only thing about that, bro, you got to make sure you understand the soil from which it comes. Because nobles, they don't take nothing from nobody, right? So you got to do it steady.
Anverth is furiously scribbling notes, and Zook is like, "Oh yeah, we really do have to get you guys to talk to the marketing department. Oh, it's so fortuitous that you all have come to join us."
Now, Abinadom says, so as we're talking, so who here is your leader by chance? Who leads your group of gnomes in this area?
Oh, well, of course that would be the kings.
The kings, are they multiple kings? Are they here?
Yeah. And he is talking, and you can tell some of the others are a little they're kind of giving him a bit of the side eye. It says it's King Nerkly and King Korbaz. We haven't seen them much lately, but they sometimes they disappear and work on some of their own inventions in their apartments that they have in the back. We can probably get you an audience with them if you need to talk to them.
We probably would want to visit them sometime soon when we have an opportunity to do so.
Oh, okay. Well, I won't. And I think I smell dinner. I think dinner is getting ready to come. And the gnomes, they start kind of almost bouncing in their seats, with excitement. And in fact, Dimble emerges with another gnome. And they're both bringing platters. In fact, they have a very large platter that they're carrying between them. As they're coming down the hallway here.
Test 1, 2.
Oh, we got you.
There you go.
Making sure it sounded better. Yeah, my headset. My headset was coming undone a little bit. That's what happened.
Okay, so let me go ahead and on.
It was coming undone a bit.
Undone. It was. It's an Artist Pro headset, so it's got like 3 connections that run into the computer. So it goes into the game DAC, and then it goes from the game DAC to the computer.
Oh, you mean it was coming unplugged?
Yes, it was coming unplugged.
Okay. Then also, did you adjust it on your face?
I did.
Take it back a little bit. You're too close. You're coming in hot. You're clipping yourself.
Is that better?
That's better.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, that's all right.
No, you're perfect. You're perfect now.
Well, I have had 9 years of listening to my own voice over a big sound system, so I've got a certain sensitivity to that.
You rock them halls, buddy.
I did indeed rock that cavern. Or that castle, as you want it.
Yep.
Maybe we should have you talk to these 2 kings.
Well, Finn did not rock the castle, but Finn is might end up being the persuasion guy. But I think that's the least part of it.
So this big platter that these 2 guys come out with, the one Dimble that you've met, and then a couple of the others named the other one as Panana, and they have plates that have steaming slices of meat that is gravy, and for 2 of you, it looks like slices of beef. And for you, Finn, it looks like there's a couple of slices of mutton and a couple of slices of, and a large slice of beef as well. And they all have some gravy on them, and there's a little garnish with some kind of leafy herb like parsley or something. And then there's a medley of cauliflower and carrots that are steamed and are arranged just so on the edge of the plate. And then there's a off by itself on a cold portion of the plate is a large ball of butter. And that apparently, you don't know what they use it for, and all of the gnomes get plates that are gnome sized. The three of you get oversized plates that look probably like, for the gnomes, they would be serving platters. But they have a nice portion of food there for you. There's the flatware that they all have out there, and so everybody sits down at this table, and so they all kind of start taking bites, and some of them take the butter and put it on their bread. Others take the butter, put it on the bread, put it on the vegetables, and put it on their meat. So it seems like they use butter. Some of them use butter for everything. And so then as they eat and they munch appreciatively, that they kind of look at the three of you and sort of await your assessment. So,
as they were bringing the food in, I discreetly cast Detect Magic.
Okay. Well, there's a few auras in the room. A couple of them have auras on their feet. And you saw those kind of crazy shoes that they had last week, where they were able to basically have them inflate so they could walk across the stream. And then one or two of them have like little auras on their hands, like maybe they might be wearing a ring of some kind, but none of the food, none of the wine, none of the serving plates or anything shows any evidence of magic.
Okay. I grab a plate and I start digging in.
Okay.
Let's get a scan here. Failing the medicine scan, which he made as much as interest. He'll start eating the thing. Yeah.
Actually, I take that back. I take a small bite. I don't start digging. I take a small bite in case.
Okay. Okay. Imagine, if you will, a world in which your definition of steak is defined by, and your expectation of steak is defined by a trip to the Capitol Grill. Okay, where there's these large cuts of steak that are aged just to perfection, and just to they're cooked precisely the way you ask. There's just the right amount of crispness and marbling and pink and searing that you think makes a steak perfect. And then imagine that somebody sets down in front of you a steak that came off the grill at Denny's. That's kind of what this tastes like. It tastes like a steak that came off the grill at Denny's.
And I cast Prestidigitation, and now it tastes like Capitol Grill.
I wouldn't know what that is.
This meat is fantastic. Oh, so good. Yeah. Gnomes rock.
They both can do that. I'm just staring at mine. I take my dagger out. I cut into it and take a bite. No.
Okay.
I did it to yours as well. I did it to all of our food there. I cast prestidigitation, made it all taste great.
Michael, not sure exactly what's in your area, but maybe in your area would be something like Ruth's Chris.
We do have one of those, but it's very, very, very expensive.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. Where you're used to steak from a really upscale, fine steakhouse. The kind of steakhouse where if you show up without a jacket, they won't let you in. They tell you to turn around and go home. In fact, there is one not terribly far away from me. Well, terribly far as the crow flies, maybe 90 or 100 miles. Vern, have you ever been down to Burns Steakhouse over in Tampa?
No, I can't eat steak, actually. I've got a beef allergy.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, Burns Steakhouse is one of the places that every time the Super Bowl is in Tampa, you hear all the guys on ESPN talking about how much they're looking forward to going and eating at Burns. It's a kind of place that has that sort of reputation. And
I think they got one like that on Disney property.
Oh yeah. I'm sure that they do. And you, as a gentleman, you were advised when you make a reservation that you need to have a coat and a tie, or else they will not allow you in the establishment.
Yeah.
It's that kind of old-fashioned steakhouse. But
Victoria and Alberts, that comes to mind.
Oh, okay, yeah. It's really good. But this is not that until Abinadom puts the prestidigitation on it, and then it tastes like that. So yeah, Dorzaphir, you kind of are looking at this going, don't know what this is going to be like. You stick it with your dagger, you put it in your mouth, and it's like, oh my God, this is the best steak I've ever had.
They're on to something, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm complimenting these gnomes. Fantastic. You guys are great.
And the gnomes, they kind of look at you a little bit and they sort of grin. It's clear that at least one or two of them have kind of seen what you have done, and something. Well, actually, let me do this first. Okay. After you, you cast your spell, and the flavor is great, and it's wonderful. Some of the gnomes appear, the ones from the kitchen, they just appear to be eating up your compliments. And Fibblestib sitting next to you and Zook sitting across from you, they both kind of snicker a little bit. It like they saw what you did with prestidigitation, and they know enough about magic that they realize you did something. And these two probably know what you did. Okay. They kind of give you a little wink like that, but it's clear they're not going to spoil the compliments for the kitchen staff. They just think it's kind of funny what you did. It's like you get a sense that these people, they probably play practical jokes on each other all the time, especially of the magical variety.
Which introduces the next session. The idea that I've got here.
Okay.
You know who likes to eat steaks like this?
Oh,
who? Dwarfs love these steaks like this.
Oh, I bet they do. Oh, dwarves. Oh, do you think maybe we could get a contract to deliver some of this mushroom meat to Blingdenstone, or maybe over to maybe over to. Oh gosh, I'm drawing a blank on what that keep is. The keep where Brunor Battlehammer is the lord. No, it'll come to me in a few minutes. Yeah, he is a dwarf NPC that's relatively famous from the Sword Coast area, Forgotten Realms area. So, as the dinner goes on, they eventually say, "Well, we're really glad you came, but why did you come? We don't often get visits from dog folk like you."
Let them down easy.
Well, we've got a very important message for the king, or kings as you call them. So you got like multiple kings working together here.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got sent from the city.
Oh, from the city, from Neverwinter?
No, the small city.
Oh,
Fandalen.
Fandolin?
Or Fandolin.
Oh, okay.
Fandolin.
Okay. Well, yeah, Fandolin is great. How's Barthen doing? He's a hoot.
He's the one that actually sent us to come send a message to your group, and that's why we would like an audience with your kings.
Oh, well, is it? Do they need our help with something?
No, not particularly.
Maybe.
Oh, yes, we do. Yes, we do. In fact, we do.
It's up to the king to decide, though.
We do need your help.
Oh, well, what seems to be the problem? I mean, sure, you want to talk to the kings, but maybe we can start thinking of some ideas.
No. This is a king-size matter, guy.
Oh.
I'd be happy to tell all of you after if that's what the kings want to do, but I don't want to get together. I don't want the kings to obligate you guys to draw your kings into something they don't want to do.
Oh. Okay. All right. Well, I think we got some extra rooms. We'll go see. We'll send somebody to go see if the kings can see you tonight, and then we'll get a couple of rooms set up for y'all. Hey, we may have to have like a large common room and just have some big people cots in it, but it should be a fairly large space, so you won't be too cramped.
We appreciate all that you've done for us.
Oh, well, we appreciate having you guys here.
In fact, I'm very interested to learn how you made these amazing shoes that allow you to walk on water. Very interesting.
Oh, well, we'll have to have the inventor talk to you. Maybe we'll see if you can see the king, and then maybe after that, he'll talk to you about that, and he'll show you some of his other inventions, too.
I would absolutely love that.
Oh, he'll be so tickled.
Yeah, where's Quippy at, man?
Quippy, he's busying himself with other things, but somebody will run, grab him, and he comes in, and he says, "Oh, hey there, Finn. How you doing?"
Hey, bro. Wondered what you were doing, man. Just in case we have to wait for the king, I got things to talk to you about.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's great. Yeah, I'll make sure that Fibblestib and I set aside some space where we can show you some of the stuff we've been working on with the performance space. Okay, well, so they go on in the dinner, and then somebody gets sent off. It's actually Up and Down. Gets sent off to the kings, and the Okay. So the kings are, where are they located? Okay, they're way back over here. Okay. So they will up and down will disappear, and he runs off over here, and he goes and he talks to the kings, and time passes, and
history check.
Okay, go ahead.
I'll tell you how to, and this is for how to properly interact with gnome kings.
Okay.
No idea. Okay, go ahead.
No idea. You think
Dirty 20.
Oh, wow. Okay. Dorzaphir, you think that you've heard that all nobility, especially when it comes to the rank of kings, they all command a certain level of respect, but you do remember being told by somebody who had made quite a successful living as a grifter in a gnome kingdom for a time. You learned from him that kings among the gnomes don't like you to be too formal. They want you to demonstrate that you respect their position of authority, but they don't want you to overdo it, because they will have a tendency to then start playing little practical jokes on you if you get too formal with them.
So take them serious, but don't take them uber serious.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's
not really let defend, right? It's like I was like, okay, well, be proper, give them a little bow, but don't be an ass kisser.
Also, from out of character experience, don't be the 10th person in a row who asks where the restrooms are.
Fair.
And now, are you guys talking about that at the table?
Well, the restrooms thing was out of character.
Oh, okay.
I kind of pull him aside, even though we're here at the table. I take him and Abinadom, and we just, we're just saying, got to stretch our legs after all this great food, and just walk them, maybe around the corner and just whisper and kind of explain that, from what I've known of gnomish nobility, just take them seriously, give a proper bow, but don't like take them too seriously like you would a human king or anybody that would say off with your head, but just be polite.
Okay, and some of them start to wander off after the dinner is done, and Zook and Quippy will hang out, waiting for Up and Down to get back.
We got to get a look at that soil out there. That's producing a lot of power.
I'm gonna have Bandit scoop some up for us.
Okay, so Bandit can grab some. He's got talons, so it's not like he has a hand, but he can kind of scrape some together. A little bit. He can't carry a lot of it, because the way his talons work, they're meant more for gripping something like a prey animal, and not like a clump of dirt.
All right, so I zone into Bandit. He grabs just a little bit for now,
Okay.
And then he drops it right here.
Okay.
And then I zone back, and then I walk over and I pick up the dirt and put it in my pocket.
All right. Well, as you're standing there, you pick up the dirt and then you see Up and Down come around the corner, and he comes back. He says, "Oh," he says, "there you are." He says, "Yeah, the king." Okay, I gotta go back and find the name again.
Nerkly and Korpaz.
Yes. King Korpaz will he says, King Korpaz will see you this evening. In fact, he's kind of glad that you're here. So
well, fantastic.
Now, you guys don't have to rush. I told him you were in the middle of dinner, and he said, "Oh, just when they get done, they can come by. But whenever you all are ready, I can take you over there."
Sounds great.
So then he will also head back in here and relay the news to the others if you don't. So that you know that you all have an opportunity to have an audience this evening. And when you do, Zook says, "Oh, okay, I'll tell them to go get a place ready for big people guests to stay with us tonight." And, all right. And so he runs off, disappears down this corridor.
And while they're doing that, I get Dorzaphir and hey, I got some of that soil. I'm gonna do a little nature check on it if you want to do one as well.
Sure.
All right.
Yeah, nothing for me.
Oh,
another nat 20 in nature? Goodness.
Wow. Okay.
Nature boy.
All right. He
is an elf.
Yeah. Woo. You are very interested or you're very interested in what
I dropped off. I missed something. I just got disconnected. I'm back now.
Okay. Abinadom, as you do your nature check, you realize that the soil here carries in your analysis, it has a structure that is crystalline in a way that would suggest that long ago, perhaps 1,000 years or longer ago, a great deal of magical energy was infused into this soil. And so it's got kind of a residue of that magic. The soil itself is not magical any longer, but it was somehow altered or changed by the magical energy being infused through it. And so perhaps it's the astounding growth of these mushrooms may be related to that energy that was infused into the soil here.
So if I want to have an amazing garden, the soil would be great, but otherwise not much else to it. Yeah,
and thinking even looking at it, you realize that even though it's got this magical residue, it seems kind of sandy and not terribly rich in nutrients. So you get a sense that the soil may be part of it, but there's probably something else going on as well.
Okay.
There's probably something.
And I share that with Dorzaphir and Finn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that explains the taste, doesn't it?
Yeah, I wonder if it's coming from the waterfall. I wonder if something inside the mountain is bringing this crystal to these lakes, these little islands in this river.
Possibly.
And so when he sees that you guys are about ready, Up and Down will begin to move. Off this way. Now, I can either have you follow him, or I can just move you guys if you don't want to trek all the way through this map.
Fine with me.
Sure.
Okay, so let me go ahead and open up this little area here. Okay, that you all would see as you go by. Then I will grab the 3 tokens. I'll grab Finn and Dorzaphir and Abinadom, and I'll just bring you guys over here. Okay, and then I'm going to recenter. Okay, so, whoops. Everybody's in a group now. All right, so, and Up and Down has come with you, and he says, gentlemen, wait here. I will tell King Corpus that you are here, and he will be with you in a moment. And you can see the room that he has led you to is what looks like a throne room. Situated atop a stone dais are 2 squat thrones made of scrap metal and sized for gnomes. And so he leaves you there, and then he withdraws through these double doors and he closes them. And then he wanders off here. And then after maybe a minute or so.
And before he comes back, hey guys, what do you think about these gnomes? You think they're on the up and up? Just kind of keep themselves, like to play with magic?
They seem like nice gents.
They probably would have blown something up if it wasn't like that.
Yeah, it was interesting about those fans. I guess that was maybe to get air circulation in, do you think? Those fast-moving fans we walked through?
Either that or some water underneath it. You know what I thought when I came here? The one thing they haven't invented? Closets.
Maybe they don't need closets.
Oh, they need closets, bro. They put that thing right in the middle of the walkway.
What's
what it's saying. If they were bad, they would have blown something up, including themselves.
That's true.
And if they were also bad, they could have killed us a while ago.
I tell you, I do really want one of those walking shoes. Those are water walking shoes. Those might come in handy.
Don't forget, we do need to take stuff back to Phandalin.
Yeah, I think we're supposed to try to get as much as we can to help defeat this dragon at some point.
And the king's got to sign off on it.
Well, hopefully he likes us.
Okay, while you all are in here, go ahead and give me perception checks, if you will. Okay.
Perception. Hold it.
Nice. Okay. Dorzaphir and Abinadom. You see that this chamber here is lit by several torches. In fact, there's about 4 torches over here along this wall, and 4 torches over here along the west wall. So 4 torches on the east side, 4 torches on the west side. And the two of you notice while you're in here and while you're talking that those torches are giving off the correct amount of light, but they are producing no heat. And so, Abinadom, you pretty much think that those are probably continual flame torches. And you know that people who are even modestly competent with magic can do some interesting things with continual flame spells, and
my detect magic is still going on.
Oh, okay, yeah, and definitely all 4 of them are radiating magic. And you also get a vague, diffuse source of magic that doesn't seem to be very powerful, but it seems to cover the entire north wall of this chamber. So it's almost like the entire wall has some sort of a magical aura on it. And
okay.
So I don't know whether you're going to say anything to the others.
Yeah, I was just going to mention, hey, there's some magic in this room, guys. These torches have a little bit of magic, giving off no heat, and this north wall also has. I'm getting the appearance and feeling of some magic, a little bit of magic aura, but I can't really tell what it is.
Okay. And about the time that you say that, all of you notice that the torches on the walls, they gradually start to dim. They dim down to about 50% of the light that they had. And on the back wall, which has looked like just solid stone, the back wall, or the north wall behind the 2 thrones, takes on something of sort of a golden hue, and changes to like almost a golden color. And then from somewhere, seemingly everywhere and seemingly nowhere at the same time, there is the sound, not an overbearing sound, but a clarion sound of like trumpets that calls out, that you might expect to hear preceding the appearance of somebody who is a noble. And then indeed this particular throne here, there's like a puff of white smoke, and then a puff of purple smoke, and then a puff of yellow smoke, and a puff of green smoke that comes up. And when the green smoke clears, there is a gnome sitting in the throne. And he looks not too dissimilar from the gnomes that you have seen, except around his head he has a circlet that is made of what looks like beaten copper that is traced with bits of like with gold, and maybe a couple of little seams of platinum running through it as well. And it kind of a small gem in the forehead, but it's not terribly ostentatious. And his robes, you would say, are nice, but they're not the kind of robes you would wear if you intended to impress somebody with how powerful you were. They're the kind of robes you would wear if you were invited to a nice dinner party. You know, and he says, "Greetings, visitors. I am King." Oh gosh, gotta find his name again.
Korbas?
I am King Korbas. Welcome to Nomengard.
Your Highness, thank you for welcoming us.
I take a slight bow. Thank you, Your Highness.
And he,
Greetings from Phandalin, Your Majesty. Thank you for your warm welcome.
"Oh, you come from Phandalin. Well, how is Phandalin doing these days?"
They're doing well, although there are some concerns afoot of a creature that is causing some problems. Thus, our reason for coming to visit you this day.
"Oh, Phandalin is," and then he kind of looks around and he looks at the back wall and he looks over at the side walls. Oh, and by the way, after he shows up, the torches along the walls come back up to their normal illumination, and the back wall resumes being just plain stone like it looked before. He says, and he kind of looks around and he leans forward and he says, "Phandalin's having problem with monsters too?"
What monsters are you having problems with?
Well, first I should answer the reasons that my guests have come and hear your news, and then I will share my news. But
Yeah, absolutely.
I think I'm going to do that after we have our break. So I have it's 9:30 my time. So why don't we go ahead and take 15 minutes and come back at 45 after the hour, and we will resume. I'm going to go ahead and put incidental music on so you guys can either mute or you can talk amongst yourselves or whatever, but the music will be on, and I'm going to step away from the computer for a few minutes.
Sounds good.
10-4.
Can we quickly whisper to each other or what's going on?
It's interesting.
It's no big deal.
Doesn't want to disclose. Oh, well.
Yes, he does. Yes, he does. You just don't know how to interact with the king. That's all, guys.
I guess that's true. Yeah.
Answer the king's question.
I will answer.
King speaks. That's all that is.
He's on the level.
Yeah, you're still looking around for it, but you found the plot now. Because when he said we have monsters, that plot you've been looking for this whole time.
That's true.
That's all. That's what's been bugging you. I'm gonna go take a break.
Yep.
I'll be right back.
See you guys.
I'm back.
Yeah, so am I.
I have a feeling we're going to have to fight something.
Something in the area.
Well, you know the old saying, you can't get something for nothing.
That's true. We gotta earn our magical items. We need to make sure we get some jars, like empty bottles and jars, so we can have containers to put stuff in when we find it.
Well, I have a poisoner's kit. I think that has little vials. Well, let me look.
Okay, now I got to recruit all the games that I'm in for. I think every game I have is looking for people except for one. Yeah.
How many games are you in?
So this is a long story, but I'm in 4. I'm in 4 because I was trying to get 2, but I figured out a system that half of the games close within a month. I just haven't figured out which half of the games it is yet. So when I got accepted into 3, I was like, okay, I don't know about this, but I'll take them because 2 of them will collapse. Well, so far it's 4 for about 3 weeks. However long we've been into this one. This was actually the last one. So it's like, but I guess maybe 4. Maybe I have had a full month at this now. But yeah, all the games are looking for players at the same time, except for one of them.
Yeah.
So yeah, a poisoner's kit includes vials, chemicals, and other equipment necessary for the creation of poisons. And I have a proficiency with this kit.
Okay, so we should give that soil, or maybe go collect some more soil at some point. I'm wondering if, since it's sand, if we were to melt it or change it into glass, if that might be. I mean, we should probably just get some to experiment with, anyways.
Sounds like a plan to me.
Or it could be the king lets us know what's going on.
Yeah, that too. Hey, who's got the best persuasion? Because I'm a -1 on persuasion.
Yeah, I was wondering why you're jumping up front all the time. I think that's just you're naturally a leader.
Well, I was holding back, but it was silent for so long. I didn't know if you were waiting for me or someone else.
I will always be silent. I have a 7 persuasion, but out of character.
There you go.
Out of character, I'm always slower because I'm always working while we do this. So I don't pause if I'm in the middle of a line. I can't go until I've not only completed that little bit of line, which is a couple of seconds, and then determine what to say. So it takes me longer than anybody else to get in.
Okay, well, I'll stand back because my charisma sucks.
Yeah, Finn's good at.
And Finn too.
Right. But it is. I'm always going to be slower like that because of out of character circumstances. It throws people off all the time because we do that thing on the basis of intuition. We don't think about that stuff. So if people are used to a certain pace, then it just gets jumped, which usually is fine. Because I don't mind keep a character either.
Yeah, I don't mind taking a back seat because in character, my guy is very inexperienced. So,
right. Yeah, you're playing more the apprentice guy,
which I am out of character and in character, so it works pretty well.
Well, you're doing pretty well actually, as far as the because you're thinking fast and you're thinking well out of character, and so the fact that you don't know a game system, that's not really what's important here. In my mind, Dungeons and Dragons is not a genre. It's just a medium. So all of the skills that you have in life that can pertain to the medium is what makes you good. The fact that you don't know what dice to roll in a certain circumstance, I don't think that matters.
I have to agree with you on that one, Vernon. It's like you do things, and to try to separate yourself from your character, especially when it comes to role play, you know, it's the point of like stepping back and thinking, okay, what would Dorzaphir do versus what Michael would do? Like Dorzaphir, I know his skills, I know his background, I know how he is. How can I put him in that situation to where he could succeed or he fails? So, and mostly you want to try to succeed, but you have to separate that and think, okay, and it's hard to metagame sometimes when it comes to that. Like, well, like I know, or, you know, Vernon would know, but does Dorzaphir really know this?
Yeah.
And but like you're right, Vernon, it's a medium, you know, using the skills you obtain in life to try to apply towards your character.
Yeah, I don't have a problem switching between two personalities. That's not what's slowing me down. I mean, that's second nature to me. I can and have done it in my sleep. So some of the New Year's Eve shows, especially the one where I was sick the New Year's Eve, come to mind. I could be half dead on my feet and sound like a king.
Are you a musician in real life?
I was an actor. I was an actor at Medieval Times.
Medieval Times.
Oh, Medieval Times. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So I was a king. And my king, he had his own mind. By the time I was a few months in there, my king and I were having arguments within. Like, because the king wanted to do certain things that Vernon didn't want to do. So it's really easy for me to flip in and out, keep track of both of those things. But that's years.
Who is the main knight? I have a buddy that does it at the one in Atlanta, and he's the one that I guess the crier knight, I call him, because he's the one that calls most of the stuff, I guess.
That's not a knight.
What is he? Like, he's the one on the nice horse with the nice robes, and he goes around the ring and he's announcing
you're talking about
stuff.
the chancellor. You're talking about the chancellor. Actually, it's not the chancellor anymore. Well, no. In the new show, that is the show with the queen, the chancellor is no longer on the horse, and that's the captain of the guard, I believe. Or the captain of arms or something like that. In the old show, the guy that did that role was the chancellor.
Got you. I've never been to Medieval Times.
Yeah, neither have I. I think one of my daughters has been to one in Las Vegas.
No, that's Excalibur.
Oh, Excalibur.
Yeah, it's very similar.
That's true.
Well, hello, gentlemen. Everybody back?
Hola.
We are here.
Okay. Well, that is tasty. Let us go over back to our Nomengard map. Okay, just before our break, we had just met King Korbaz, and he was anxious because apparently he's been having problems with monsters here too, but being a good host, he would very much like to hear what his visitors have to say.
Yeah.
And so Up and Down is just going to wait outside here.
So, King Korbaz, you have to excuse my friend here. I think he's made some friends. I think we all made some friends among your people today.
Oh, wow. There's no apologies for that.
So he's a little bit concerned, but of course you should go first. And it's pretty major. A aggressive white dragon has been spotted in the region. There's some feeling that it may reach down to here. And a mutual friend, asked for help.
A white dragon? Oh, well, I can certainly see with winter coming on and the snow cap in these mountains all the time. Yes, that would be prime. That would be prime time for a dragon to be in this area, especially a white dragon. Oh, so in Phandalin, they're pretty concerned about this. You must forgive me. We kind of stick to ourselves most of the time, and we don't get out much except going down to Phandalin. And I haven't had a good story from Phandalin in over 6 months. So, what have there been attacks or anything?
Well, we did kill a manticore, and we took the tail and hung it above the bar.
You need to go look at it next time you're in town.
Oh, you all killed a manticore. Oh, well, that's quite a feat.
And an adventurers guild has recently been started there.
Oh, an adventurers guild. Ooh. Well, yeah, and then he kind of scratches his chin and he says, well, profit is one of our key tenets. And if there are adventurers that are going to be operating in Phandalin, then that could be a profitable arrangement for us. Well, this is very good news that you have told. Now, it's not good news that people are in fear of the dragon. I don't mean to make light of that, but there could be an opportunity in this. And
as he says that, I pull out my token and I show him my guild token. I kind of humbly show him the token to show that we are part of the Adventurers Guild.
He does a little, twiddles his fingers a little bit, and he says, now, don't be alarmed. I'm just going to send my mage hand over there. And so he, in fact, does cast a mage hand spell. And when he does, he's like tries to hold a straight face, but then he starts to grin and he says, oh, that tickles, and he adjusts his robe. And as he adjusts his robe, you see wings like a butterfly sprout from his shoulder blades. And he's like, oh, this is a fun one. And then he flaps the wings and he actually rises up about 10 feet into the air. And then you, Abinadom, you see kind of like this near invisible, almost ghostly hand that glides over towards you. Just, and you know Mage Hand because you have probably used that spell before, and you have it in your repertoire, and it just sort of floats towards you, not menacingly, but just outstretched with a palm up, And then the king says, "Can I see the coin, please?"
And I'll hand him the token.
Okay, you drop it into the mage hand, and he floats the mage hand back over to him.
Okay, hold on. We're missing something here. What was he laughing at? Does it need a perception roll?
Yeah, a perception roll would probably be good.
Okay, I didn't know if it was like he was making a funny hand or if what it was. So I get the roll on there.
Yeah, okay. That 18. You think that he's laughing because of the butterfly wings that sprouted from his back. You think he thinks that's pretty funny?
Oh.
Question:
Okay.
Would I perceive that? I don't know how to. If there's a role for that as to why he has butterfly wings.
Or if it was unexpected.
You get the sense it was. You get the sense that he. Okay, I'm going to make you both roll insight checks if you want to know. Okay. Okay. Abinadom. Let me start with Dorzaphir. Dorzaphir, you get the feeling that he was surprised at the butterfly wings. Abinadom, you catch on to something a little more subtle. You get the sense that he expected that something might happen, but he didn't know what was going to happen, and he thinks the butterfly wings are a real hoot.
Okay, I think I got it.
Can I roll an Arcana check?
You sure can. In fact, all of you probably have. All of you are spellcasters, so you probably all could do an Arcana check to see if you have any notion of what's going on.
It's like I, as Mike, know, but I know Dorzaphir doesn't understand.
Yeah. Okay, Finn, you've heard crazy stories about this, and Abinadom, you're pretty sure you know that this is exactly what's happening. You guys have both heard of something called wild magic, where there are some regions of the world, and often it's associated with places in the Underdark, where when you cast spells, there can be side effects. And sometimes those side effects can be mildly interesting and relatively benign. And sometimes those side effects can be kind of deadly. And
do I know if there's a way to prevent it?
It all depends on what the source of the wild magic is. If it's a wild magic that's caused by something on the caster, then usually casting a dispel magic on them will suppress that for a time. But if it's something caused by the environment, then the way to prevent it is to move outside that environment before you cast any spells.
Okay.
And between what you're seeing here, what your Arcana check is, and now it's starting to make a little more sense maybe what's going on with those mushrooms. That it could be that the residue of magic that you were sensing has to do with some kind of wild magic. Probably an extremely powerful kind of wild magic that was energy that was infused into this area long, long, long ago.
Okay.
So, but while you all are doing those checks and everything, Korbaz looks at your coin and he kind of flips it over a couple of times, seems to sort of lose interest in it, puts it back in the mage hand, and the mage hand starts to float over to you. And as it does, he's looking all around the room, especially looking at the floor and looking at different corners of the room. And then the hand comes back over to you, and it's just holding out the token.
I take the token back.
Okay, all right. And when you do, he then lowers his voice to a whisper, and he says, "Did you all see a rug in here?"
No.
And no, you didn't.
No.
There was no carpet in here. He says, "Okay, well, I didn't want to leave you alone just in case, but it's been a few days since I've been in here. And you told me about your monster problem. Now let me tell you about our monster problem. Now, if you go throughout the complex, you'll find there are 20 of us. At least I hope there's still 20 of us. But a 10-day ago, there used to be 22 of us. And then one day, I was finishing up a day of audiences. I went to my chambers, and I realized I had forgotten something on the throne. So I came back, and when I came back, there was this gorgeous rug in the middle of the floor that I didn't recognize. And I thought, oh, that's so nice. And I went over and I started to look at it, and the rug tried to eat me. And so I ran away. And I haven't been back in the throne room since. And I ordered that my husband be brought to me, and I have him safe in our chambers, and I'm not letting him out until somebody finds that rug and kills it.
I look over at Abinadom and Finn, and I'm like, I whisper, did he lose his crackers?
Arcana check here.
Yep. Arcana or history, I'm going to say, would be appropriate for anybody. Whatever's better.
Ooh.
Oh, wow. Hey, all right. We're 3 for 3. Yeah, Finn, you, in fact, have sung a song that's almost exactly like this. It was the Ballad of the Empty Throne. And the Ballad of the Empty Throne was about a king who was beloved by most of his subjects except for an evil wizard. And this evil wizard captured a monster that's known as a mimic. And he managed to put the mimic into a sleep under the effect of a sleep spell after he had forced the mimic to become to stretch itself out like a large carpet. And he brought this carpet as a gift to the king. And he got the king to accept the gift, and the king put it in his royal bedchamber. And then the king went to bed that night. And the next morning, when his advisors went to wake him up, the bed was torn up and the sheets were all bloodied, but there was no sign of the king's body, and the rug was gone. And they eventually found it masquerading as a baptismal font in the chapel in the castle. And when the clerics went to try to baptize a child, the baptismal font tried to eat the cleric and the child. And that's when they killed it. So you have sung that song, and you know, based on his description, that what he's talking about is a mimic. It's a creature that is able to imitate the form of simple objects, carpets, pieces of furniture, doors, wall hangings, things like that. And then when an unsuspecting victim gets too close, it animates and it tries to eat them.
Yep.
And in fact, all of you have heard of mimics, but Finn just knows like backwards and forwards what's going on with this thing.
Has Your Majesty heard of a monster called the Mimic?
The Mimic? The Mimic? Well, I think there's some tomes that talk about those things, but I thought those were only found in wizard labs.
No reason for them to only be found in a certain place, Your Majesty. The stories are real.
Have you had anybody
goodness.
show up lately and offer you any gifts?
No, we haven't.
Your Majesty, do you trust us?
I have no reason not to trust you.
But I might have to ask you something, Your Majesty. What we're seeing here is something that can appear as anything. So if you don't see anything that you're not used to seeing here, the first thing we need to do is go check where you put your husband and make sure it's not there. But in order to do that, you have to trust us with what apparently you prize the most.
Well, I've done a check on our quarters, and there's no magic auras in our quarters. So, is this a magical creature?
The creature could appear as anything. I don't believe it does give off a magical aura. You have to look for something that wasn't there before.
Oh dear. And he says, oh, my Nurgle. And he runs over here, and he slaps a place on the wall, and a piece of the wall opens, and he goes running into a little corridor. And now, let me see, I have to...
Guys, I don't think we should let him go alone.
Yeah, I
Just
agree.
get his attention. Don't give him... Ask him.
Your Majesty, ho!
That's not an asking. Can we help you?
And he says, oh, well, yes, I suppose that I do need someone's help.
There we go.
Please.
Dorzaphir. Return to Dorzaphir. Hey,
Yes.
you want me to make you invisible?
Sure. Why not? This sounds like fun.
Good move.
Okay. And so
Dorzaphir is now invisible.
Okay. All right. Dorzaphir. Let me go here. Let me find a little. What would be a good invisibility thing here?
And then and then I cast Mage Armor on myself.
Okay. So I'm just gonna say for the invisibility, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but we'll do that. And then for the Mage Armor, we will do, this does make more sense. We'll do that. So, oh, you know what? Is there an eye?
Like Skyrim.
Yeah, there's a little eye. Okay.
There we go.
So the eye, Dorzaphir, you are now invisible. All right. So, he says, "Yes, come. He has to be okay." And so you all go into this chamber here. And when you get in here, you do see that it's a large bedchamber with a it's a very, very nicely appointed gnome bedroom. There's about 4 armoires that look like they're probably filled with clothes. There is a bed that is large enough for a pair of Goliaths and has all kinds of silk pillows and coverings and everything on it and whatnot. And there's another gnome dressed very similarly to Korpaz over here. And Korpaz runs over and puts his arms around him and kisses him on the cheek and says, "Oh, Nurgle, I was so scared. That a monster got you." And Nurgle is like, just come on, Korpaz. We haven't seen anything in days. You've got to be imagining this. Now, who are all these people? Why are you bringing them into our chamber here? And Korpaz said, "They're adventurers from Phandalin. They were sent by Barthen, and there's a white dragon, and they need help with the white dragon. And I was thinking that if they help us with finding our monster, we can maybe help them." And Nurgle says, Fine, but when are you going to let me out of here? When I know the monster's dead." Oh, good Lord. Darling, you just worry about so much. And then he, the other one turns to the 3 of you and just sort of rolls his eyes like, this is what I have to put up with.
Heaviest the head that bears the crown, bro.
And he gives you a little smile. And he says, "Yes, I suppose you're right. Well, I suppose my husband has told you this madness about some monster. He kept going on about some rug trying to attack him. Do you think there's any truth to what he's saying?" And Korba says, "Yes, they call it a mimic. They said these creatures are known, and they you remember we read about mimics with the story of the wizard." And it's like, oh, that's not just some bard's made up tale. They really exist. Apparently they do.
Can I tell if anything in here looks out of place? Would that be perception, or can I investigate? I can't be seen.
Do an investigation check. That would be like looking for little details that maybe are out of place and whatnot.
Investigation.
Yeah. Dorzaphir, you don't have enough of a frame of reference to have.
Ooh.
I'm rolling great on my.
Yeah.
Yeah, you are.
Abinadom and Finn, you're in the same boat. You don't have enough of a frame of reference without asking to tell whether there's anything out of place. There's nothing that seems obviously out of place here.
Well, I was going to say, do I see a rug?
There are a couple of plush carpets that are in here.
Or an armoire. We can ask about the furniture.
Can I stab one of the rugs with my knife? Not an attack, just I just want to prod it with my dagger.
Okay, you're invisible, right?
Yes, but if I make an attack or cast a spell, when I instantly lose invisibility.
Yeah. Okay. Tell me what part of the room are you going to try to do this in?
Wherever I see like a rug, like you said, carpet rug that I just want to take and just barely prod it with my dagger to see if it flinches.
Okay. You find one over there and you prod it and it acts like you would expect a rug to act.
So there's two chairs?
Gives a little. Huh?
There's two chairs?
Oh, there's several chairs. Some are very plush.
And you said there were 4 armoires?
Yeah.
Okay, Finn looks at the nicest things first and says, where did you buy it?
Oh. And King Korba says, beg pardon?
Where did you buy these things? Or were they gifts? Or did you inherit them?
Oh, yes. Nurgle, everything in here is as it should be, right? And he starts to look around and he says, yes. We've had those for a while, and those were wedding gifts. And that was a gift from Corbaz's mother over there, and that was a gift from my mother over there. And they start going down, and I look and I say, yeah, everything is what it should be here.
Then that is well.
So your thinking is that we need to look for something that either we don't expect to see or that looks out of place. That's what you're thinking?
Well, even better. If your majesty can remember the histories, or your majesties, as it were, can remember the histories of the things that you see, then you know that that the thing is what it is, unless maybe it's even more complicated and somebody has taken the thing out. But that's not likely if it was first a rug. So, if your majesty understands what he sees and all the items in this room, then this room marked safe. But we need to ask whoever knows what things are what in all the rooms.
That's brilliant. Well, come back with me, if you will, to the throne room, says Corbaz. And then he says, and Nurgle, it looks like the rug is gone from the throne room, so I suppose you can come out to the throne room too if you want. And Nurgle says, all right, fine, I will do that. I'll do that, darling. And so he goes over and he takes his accustomed seat here. The rest of you guys are heading back out. And then he looks around and he says, where's your friend Dorzaphir?
He's getting ready to get the jump on that before it gets the jump on you.
Oh, okay.
I am here, your majesties.
Oh, invisible. Oh, that's a good trick. And
Boo.
so Korbaz goes to the doors and opens it, and Up and Down is standing out there, and he looks in the doors, and he invites him to come in. He takes his seat, and he says, and Up and Down says, "Oh, King Nurgle, it's so good to see you again. We were getting worried that maybe you had taken ill. We hadn't seen you in several days." And Nurgle just reaches over and takes Korbaz's hand and says, "I just have a husband who worries too much." And Up and Down just snickers a little bit and says,
"Can I do an insight check on Nurgle?"
"Sure."
I want to see if he's actually who he says he is.
Okay.
Wait a minute, DM. If we know about mimics, they can't take human form, correct? Or any form of a humanoid?
That is correct about mimics, but all of you do know that there are shape changers that creatures that do take that, and perhaps Abinadom is just getting a little paranoid. Well, if there's something that can look like the furniture, maybe there's something that looks like the people.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, what was your?
It wasn't very good. It was a 10.
10. Yep. Seems like a gnome to you. There's no telltale sign he's not exactly what he appears to be, and of course, this Up and Down recognizes him as the king or one of the kings. So it seems like he must be, probably must be who he says he is. But King Korbaz says, "Up and Down, you need to go spread the word at once. Everyone must look throughout all of their chambers, and if there is anything that is the least bit out of place, you must alert our guests and let them deal with it. We have a shape-changing monster among us called a mimic, and it can take the form of furniture or of a rug or of a door or a wall hanging, and it can kill. I think we finally know what happened to our poor dear companions we haven't seen in some time." And his eyes get a little misty as he talks, and Up and Down says, "Oh no. Yeah, well, of course, Your Majesty. Of course. I will spread the alarm right away. And he goes racing off, and he disappears like a shot out of the door. And then King Korbaz says, I would ask you to wait for an escort, and you may ask to see any chambers in our complex, but just for the sake of my people and their sense of ease, please have one of them accompany you wherever you go and investigate. And if they give you any trouble, tell them that you are investigating by the order of King Korbaz." And Nurgle says, "And King Nurgle, we both would like you to take care of this. My husband is given to worry, but if you are convinced this is the problem, then I want us to take it seriously."
Done.
Okay. And a couple of minutes later, actually 2 gnomes come back. Dabbledob and Up and Down. Dabbledob and Up and Down come back, and the kings give them the order that they are to be your escort, take them anywhere they need to go. And so they look to you and they say, are you gentlemen ready?
Yes.
I'm just hiding back, of course.
Okay. So they will go, and then they come down here, and there is a room that they go into here. This is they say, now this is the treasury, and because the kings told us to bring you here, we will. But what are you? What do you think this mimic will look like?
Problem is going to look like anything that has any size. Who is the keeper of the treasury?
And Dabbledob says, well, I am the keeper of the inventory.
Perfect. You're the man I need.
Okay, how can I help?
I got a feeling I'm going to regret this, bro, but tell me where everything in here comes from. Unless you happen to see something that just doesn't look right.
Oh, okay. Well, he opens up a satchel and he pulls out a ledger. And he asks Up and Down to hold the ledger, which Up and Down does. And then he starts flipping through pages, kind of moistens his tongue on a finger, or moistens his finger on his tongue. And he says, and he starts naming off things, and he starts pointing, and he goes through, and it takes like an hour. And he goes through and he describes all of the things that are in the inventory, and he asks you guys, if you will, to take a piece of chalk and just make a small mark on each item as he enumerates it. And you get all the way through, and then you all look at everything, and everything in the room has a chalk mark on it. So there's nothing in here that seems like it's extra or that's surprising or that doesn't belong.
I bet it looked funny picking up stuff and marking it with chalk, and I'm invisible.
Yeah. And how long does the invisibility last? Is it
just,
till the spell ends? I think
it's just 1 hour.
Yeah. Okay. So
1 hour.
Yeah. Just before you all get done, your invisibility fades, and you can be seen again. But yeah, they get used to the chalk moving by itself, and for a while they think it's something that Abinadom is doing with a mage hand. And then when you appear, they both jump a little bit, and then they point and they laugh and they say, "Oh, that was a good trick, being invisible all that time." And
all right.
So
hang on just a second, guys. I'm going to go knock on the door here a second. He's actually going just to see if the kings are there.
You open the door, and actually, by this time, They have retired to their chamber. And you know where the secret door is, but it's closed, and it just looks like a part of the north wall again.
So I think... Sorry to interrupt you, Finn, but I think someone needs to keep guard of the kings all night. Not one of us, per se, but maybe one of their members to make sure nothing is in there to attack them.
And Dabbledob says, "Oh, that's a good idea. I'll go get somebody." And then he runs off, and he comes back in a few minutes, and he brings these two guys. Brings your buddy Zook and a guy named Karamip. And they just go and they stand guard outside the bedchamber. And take up those positions. And then they say, "Well, we should go check the upper door first." And they come in here, and this, of course, is just a large open chamber. And this is the workshop. There's all kinds of workbenches and everything, and it's clear that people have been working on stuff and just have left stuff laying around and whatnot. And so they say, "Well, now it's going to be really difficult to tell what's in here. If we go down to the main level, we can see what's here. How do you recommend we should proceed? How should we check for things?"
Stab it.
And they go, "Oh, well, I don't want to stab an invention, but maybe." And one of them pulls out, or they both pull out, what look like stubby little wands, and they start to twist them, and then they start to pull them out, and they telescope, and they become as long as quarterstaffs, as gnome-sized quarterstaffs. And then the gnomes just go around and they just start poking things on tables and on the walls, and they poke the chairs with these, and they go around, and there's, nothing reacts in a way that seems threatening.
Okay, then. I guess we need to move on.
Okay. And then
one question: is this a common area?
Oh yeah, we all come here and work from time to time. This is the main laboratory.
Okay, why don't you have everybody hold up here while we clear out the rest of this zone so that nobody else goes down?
Oh, that's a good idea. Okay, well, the guards will have to stay put, but we can bring everybody else in.
Right. And anybody that's a good guide for a certain area could come with us.
Okay. So they will bring these guys over here, and then they'll bring these guys over here.
Abinadom wants to ask a question.
Go ahead.
Your friends who went missing, over the past few days, do you know where they were last seen?
And they think about that for a minute, and One of them says, well, the last place that they saw. Okay, what are the names here? What are the names of those two who went missing? All right. Oren and Warren. So.
Hey, somebody else has a name that sounds like a name.
Yeah. So somebody last saw Oren actually in the lab, but it was in the morning, and he was working through lunch, and then somebody else says, yeah, I came by in the afternoon, and he was here. He left about 5:00, but he never came to dinner that night. And then with Warren, they say the last time they saw Warren was when she was working on the those bladed fan things. Was over there, and somebody thought that somebody at first got worried that maybe something had happened, but there was no sign of anybody getting hurt or nobody getting injured over in that area. And she was one of the inventors of those, and so she knew the system that powered those better than just about anybody. So they really didn't think that she would have been hurt by that.
And what is the purpose of those fans?
Purpose?
Yeah, the purpose.
They're cool.
Okay. They just spin for the cool factor.
Well, you see, you know how we have the mechanism to automatically load the crossbows over there. We're thinking that there's got to be some way, if you take a weapon like a sword and you put like 4 or 5 like great swords together, and then you can just spin them around, that would be like a really cool weapon. Now, of course, we have to figure out how to miniaturize that and how to make it to be something that you can actually carry out on the battlefield and not have set up in the hallway. But another side thing is that they make kind of a cool sound when the blades whistle through the air. So we've experimented with putting different size blades on it, and the one thing we found is that you have to have all the swords have to be the same size, or else it just goes plavida, 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 and it doesn't spin very nicely.
Okay, I understand. So do we go towards the fans now? Or the blade fans?
Well, there's 2 areas. If we go to the north, that's kind of where everybody has their little apartments. And then if we go over to the east, we'll get closer to the fans. So I wonder which one we should look at for. Well, maybe it's getting kind of close to night. Maybe we should check out the apartments first. And so one of them will lead you off this way. And there's these little apartments, and to you all, they look fairly larger than what you might expect to find in a jail cell, but each one of these has bunks for gnomes, and some of them have bunks that are stacked 4 high, and some of them have bunks that are stacked 2 high, and some of them have bunks that are stacked 3 high. And it's usually like 2 or 3 sets of bunks in each of these little areas. And then there's kind of like little chairs and desks and little rugs on the floor and whatnot, small rugs on the floor. And so then several of them will come on over, and, seems like at least one person who lives in every room comes over and kind of gets in the room to sort of just make sure what big folk are doing, poking around in their rooms. Like they just want to keep an eye on what's going on. Go ahead, Abinadom.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I'm gonna poke around everything in this section.
Okay, all right. And they say, what? Now we heard that you're looking for something called a mimic. Now, what should we look for? What?
We're looking for anything that looks out of the ordinary, something that you don't recognize, something
anything you don't remember bringing in here.
Yes.
Oh, okay. And so they all kind of do, and they kind of are pointing around at things, and like you can see the wheels turning in their head, and they all seem satisfied with what they see here. And 15, 20 minutes, they can do a fairly thorough search of each of the rooms, and they will not stop you from going in, but they will report that they recognize everything is something that they or one of their roommates brought in to their little domicile. And they say, yeah, it looks like everything is right here. Well, maybe we should go check out those fans.
That's good news.
All right.
Hey, rooms are clear. You can go back in there.
Oh, okay, great. Thank you. And then they come over here, and the guy stops the fan again, like he did before. And he looks around and he says, yeah, everything here looks like it's supposed to. It's just the fans, and you all don't see any wall hangings or carpets or anything there. And then they take you across the bridge, and they come into this area.
We didn't like the fan anyway.
And you get to the area with the guards, and these 2 guards, there's one named Ulla and one named Pog, and they ask what you're looking for, and they say, oh, we don't know about anything here, but you guys can come up if you want to. This ledge is about 10 feet up from the ground floor, and in fact you all see that this hallway around here just rises up, and there's a little stairway that leads up to kind of the guard post. And they have a small table there with some cups and a pitcher of water on it, and they have a couple of chairs there, and everything.
And so I ask them the same thing we asked the other gnomes. Is there anything here that they didn't bring into this location?
No, the chairs belong here. Pitcher, they bring the pitcher. They bring fresh water from the kitchen a couple of times a day, or a couple of times every shift. Yeah, everything's fine, and they bring meals when we need them.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yep. All right.
Well, the good news is we're running out of rooms. The bad news is running out of rooms.
Right.
And so he says, "Well, we should go to the winery next." And so they go over, and they
there's a lot of barrels.
yeah, they lead you in here.
Thing is where it begins.
Maybe we could get a gnome here who's in charge of the winery.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. And so they send word, and Nix.
Would he happen to have a list of the inventory?
Well, Nix will run over, and they will tell him what they're looking for, and he says, yes, of course I know exactly what should be here. We have 4 casks of dwarven ale, and those are over here because this part of the chamber stays a little cooler, and the dwarven ale needs to be a little bit cooler.
All right, let me tap that one and make sure.
And then we have 7 barrels of the purple mushroom wine.
Wait, 7? There's 8.
What? The kids are responding in the background.
You said 7 barrels. There are 8 barrels, I see.
And Nick says, No, there's 7. Now let me count them. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Oh, pun coming.
And as he counts the 6th one, the 6th one suddenly leaps out and tries to take a bite out of him.
Oh,
Oops.
crap.
That one's 8.
Yeah. And so the barrel changes shape and is clearly now some sort of a monster that used to look like a barrel. And Nix shouts out, "Ah!" And we will roll initiative.
Let's roll out that barrel.
I need to roll my 20s now.
Dirty 20.
Okay.
Roll out the barrel.
Oh, jeez. I knew it.
Okay, so.
Yikes.
Oh.
Sweet.
Okay.
Sweet.
So the mimic is probably going to be last. Oh, Dorzaphir, yours did not.
I don't know why it doesn't roll over. I mean, I rolled mine through beyond 20, but it didn't roll over to the turn order.
Yeah. Do you select your token on the map before you click initiative?
Oh, that's what it is.
Yeah, that's the problem I had earlier. I wasn't doing that.
All right. Never mind. Okay, we don't have any We don't have any duplicates. So, and I should give this guy. Let me go ahead and give him a turn.
I have the most evil idea.
Now let's just take a look at. There we go. This guy and low. 13. Okay, so so Dorzaphir, you are still first. So you may go ahead. The Nyx screeches as this barrel, a mouth opens on the end of it, and a tongue reaches out, and clearly it's going to try to bite him.
So, in perception, does it still kind of look like a barrel trying to reach out and grab him?
Yeah, it looks like a barrel that the end of the barrel has now animated, and it's clearly got jaws on it, and in those jaws are very sharp teeth, and there is a tongue that looks kind of like a mammal tongue a little bit, but it's not forked like a snake or anything like that, but it's got what looks like kind of ridges on the tongue. Yeah.
Can I grab him? I moved forward 5 feet. Grab him, pull him back, and then cast Firebolt at the.
Well,
too much doing an action.
Yeah, moving him is going to be your action. Now you can get to a point where you have line of sight to the mimic, and Firebolt is a single target spell, so you could target the mimic without being in danger of hitting him.
Okay, so I guess I'll just. Where was I? I guess I was right here. So I'll just. Yeah, okay, so I'll move within line of sight.
Okay, yeah.
All right, so I'm going to cast Firebolt.
That's a range spell attack, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so go ahead and make your attack roll. 21. That will hit for 5 points of fire damage. Okay, well, it does not seem to resist that, and the creature's skin is singed, and it lets out a kind of a yelp that sounds almost like the yelp of a wolf when it gets hit by that fire. Okay, you moved 5 feet, and your spell is an action. Do you want to do any more movement, or you just want to hang out there?
Might move out of the way to let everybody else see the thing and get a line of sight. So I'm going to move right.
Okay. All right. And then it is it's Nyx's turn, and Nyx is just going to he's going to disengage. He's not going to try to attack. He's just simply going to move away defensively. His full movement, so 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And by doing a disengage, the mimic does not get an opportunity attack on him. But he cannot take any attack, and he's just screaming, ah, 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 as he tries to run away. And he does get out of the way. And Finn, we are up to you.
Let's cast this spell. This is completely sinister in its way.
Oh,
Phantasmal Force. What I'm doing is I'm making the mimic see as if the wall behind it is a mimic trying to eat him.
yeah. Okay.
So a bigger mouth is coming down.
Oh, that's good. That's good. So now let's see. Now that's an intelligence check he has to make.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, intelligence is not his strong suit. Oh, yeah. If he didn't have that -3 on intelligence, he might have made that DC. But yeah, he takes that damage. And hey, let me take a look at what the other effects of the spells are. Okay. Treats the phantasm as if it were real. Target rationalizes any illogical outcome. Okay. Okay. And so convinced that it can even take damage from the illusion. Okay. Wow. All right. You know what? I'm going to say
that was dirt.
I'm going to say that since it's your turn, that it thinks that this thing is trying to attack it. So it is going to bite. This illusion is going to try to bite. 16. Oh.
It bites a wall.
16. No, it thinks the wall bit it.
Right.
And so convincing is the phantasmal force that it actually takes damage.
Oh, I thought that was the 6. I thought that was the 6 psychic that I mentioned up there when I cast the spell.
Oh, okay. Yeah. You're right. Okay. Never mind. That will. I think I already gave it the damage from that. Okay. Then 5 and 6 is 11. Yep, 47. So okay. That is that. So it thinks the wall is going to bite it, but it doesn't happen yet.
Well, I think the wall did bite it, actually. Because
okay,
that's why it took damage, yeah.
Yeah. It thinks the wall bit it. Okay. Abinadom, you are up.
Okay, I'm gonna cast a web. It's got a 20-foot cube, but I have a sculpt feature, so I can protect Dorzaphir. I just want to make sure that these other gnomes aren't going to fall in that 20-foot sphere. Are they at least 20 feet away?
Okay, so well, you can center it wherever you want to center it, and even if that means like putting it higher up on the wall, so that it covers an area that's kind of more on the ceiling, farther out, but then comes down to the floor in the area where you want. So
I'm casting it right over here. So that'll
okay.
And then I can protect Dorzaphir with my sculpt feature, so it won't impact him. So I'll cast a web in this area.
20-foot diameter?
Yeah, I believe so. 20 feet.
20-foot cube.
20. Yeah, 20-foot cube, and I've got it attached to these walls. So.
Okay, well then I screwed that up. So let me go. Okay, instead of doing that.
Sorry, I said.
No, that's all right.
But it is a cube. Yeah.
All right, so. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to. Oh no! Okay, there it goes. That's it.
I'm just right outside of it.
And then
so
we can
safe.
actually move it like here if you want to, or we can leave it here since your
That looks good. That
Okay.
looks good.
All right.
And so he needs to make the save is a Dex 15.
Okay, Dex 15.
Or excuse me, Dex 14. Sorry, Dex 14.
Dex 14. Oh, he makes it.
Wow.
Okay, so now when you're so any creature that starts its turn in the webs or that enters them makes a Dex save. Okay, so it starts there now.
So it succeeded. It's no longer restrained. So it did nothing.
Okay, I'm just trying to figure out whether that makes it difficult terrain. It doesn't say, I don't think. So it probably is not difficult terrain. The webs are difficult terrain.
Yeah.
So what that means it takes him 2 squares of movement to move 1 square. So, yeah. So instead of taking 5 feet to get over to where he can bite Dorzaphir, he has to take 10 feet of movement to get over there. But he will move and to the closest delicious thing in the room, which is Dorzaphir. And he will try to
DM Gallibond. Is that how you want to be? How do you want to be reached by a player I found for you?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, DM Gallibond is fine.
On roll 20. Okay, so I got to figure out how you do that. I've never given somebody else's thing before.
Okay. I tell you what. Communicate with them.
I just did.
And then drop. If they have a roll 20. If they have a roll 20 ID, just put that in a private message to me in Discord, and then I can send them an invite to the game.
A roll 20 ID, and then I send it to you in a private.
Yeah. Okay. Or you can just have them look for this game in.
They're on Discord too. Would that be easier?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, how do you do that?
Find out what their Discord ID is and just give it to me in a private message so that I can try to touch base with them. All right, so this thing is actually going to try to reach out a section of itself and grapple you, Dorzaphir. So
I cast shield.
Okay. And that's probably going to miss anyway. AC 7?
Yeah, that misses. Yeah. Armor class is 14.
Okay. All right. Well, it tried to attack you. It missed. And so, Dorzaphir, what are you going to do?
But to blast him with fire.
Okay.
Firebolt to the face, and plus because he's in the web, he's still in the 20-foot. It adds fire to the webs are flammable. Any 5-foot cube of web exposed to fire burns away in 1 round, dealing 2d4 fire damage. It starts its turn in the fire.
Okay. So the 11 will miss it, but remind me when its turn comes around, it will take that fire damage.
10.
So let's just take a look here and we'll say it is on fire. Okay. So
I'm going to move before the end of my turn.
Okay.
5, 10, 15. I'll move right back here next to it.
Okay.
Does he get a shot?
Yeah, because you attacked, Yeah, because you attacked, it's going to make an opportunity attack on you. No, it can't do that because it's its turn.
Mm-hmm.
No, that was your turn.
It was
That
my turn.
sorry.
Yes. Yeah.
So yeah, it can do that. So
Bonus action, disengage.
Oh, okay. All right. Then that's fine.
I was going to say, yeah, that's the cool thing about being a rogue now. I can use my bonus action to disengage and run.
That's a sweet gift.
Yeah, it is.
So Nyx will just keep running and go, ah, 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 ah. It's Finn, you're up.
Okay, that thing attack I've been busy kind of working with.
Yeah.
I leave it there. So I'm now concentration spell is on Phantasmal. So that's going to stick. And I believe I can add something else to it. So I understand this spell, right?
As long as it's not another concentration. Then
Right, that's what I'm checking for. I don't think this one is. Information. Nope, not a concentration spell.
Okay, so it makes a DC 13 Wisdom save. So it's... God, you guys are just mean.
I'm
so
thinking by Sinister tonight, yeah.
All right. Well, it takes all of that, and it's just cringing. Now, of course, it believes that the mimic on the wall has now moved to this barrel, and it believes that this barrel has attacked it, and that's why it's taking damage. So, Abinadom, you are up again.
Okay, I'm going to do Magic Missile.
Okay.
As a level 1.
Okay, so... Yep, 2 more.
Let's see. Why did it do that? I thought I was going to...
It's consistently been just doing one at a time every time.
Yeah, I changed it to allow me to do it differently, but it's not working tonight. Yeah. I don't know why.
So 5 and 3 is 8, and 3 is 11. So that's 11 more points. 25. Oh. It is now bloodied. Okay. And it...
Is it 2d4?
Fire.
I think
fire.
it's
2d.
Yeah. So 2d4.
Go ahead.
I just
roll.
I just rolled it. So it's 8.
Okay. Takes 8. All right. And then it's going to... All right. And it's no longer on fire, but it still is bloodied. So 5, 10, and it is going to... Delabine, you should have moved. I don't know why you were just standing there. Maybe he was frozen with fear, but...
Did he not have a churn? What did he do?
That's the extra guy.
Yeah.
Oh, he break out of the web. Let's see. So the mimic's about to attack?
Yep.
All right. Make your attack, and maybe I'll apply cutting words to it.
Wait a minute. Hold on. Because it started its turn in the webs, even though they're on fire, does it still have to make a dexterity saving throw?
No, he's already free. It didn't affect him.
Or until it breaks free. Oh.
Yeah. So he was never contained within the web. It just slowed him down.
Okay, so
yeah.
All right.
That's the cutting words thing that we were having so much fun with before.
So that was instead of 8, that's 5.
No, I'm going to take it off the 2 hit if I can.
So it should be 5.
So it's a 10.
Yeah.
Oh.
So you took 3 off of the attack roll, right?
Yeah. That's the main idea.
So that's a 10. Yeah. 10 is exactly what he needs to hit the gnome.
Bad judgment. Bum, 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 bum.
And the gnome gives a shriek and falls over and has a big, huge, bloody bite taken out of him by this mimic.
Ouch.
Dorzaphir, you are up.
Would I say the mimic's distracted? He's chewing on the gnome.
Okay. No. You technically, Gallibond is an ally within 5 feet, but Gallibond is not conscious, so it doesn't give you sneak attack or advantage on the attack. Yeah.
Well. I'm just gonna blast him again with fire because apparently that seems to work.
Okay.
Not with that.
Yeah. Unfortunately, that's gonna miss. Do you want to use any movement or anything?
Yeah, especially if he's going to try to get close. I want to bonus action hide. Try to hide behind one of the barrels, maybe.
Okay. Like up in this area? Yeah. Okay. So go ahead and do a hide. Or make a stealth check, I should say.
1 second. My character sheet just wanted to act up on me. Hold on. I got it. Not with that. Whoa, I'm rolling like crap tonight, guys.
Okay. Yeah, possibly not. Okay, so yeah, you still hear the gnome screaming in the hall. Finn, you're up. Yeah, this other gnome here is getting chewed on by this mimic.
So, okay, now my dissonant whispers didn't send them running, apparently.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on.
Then you failed a wisdom save. This was when I was tapping out and talking to the other person on Discord.
He rolled a 4 and was...
Yeah, let me just double check. Let me pull.
So that guy should have been running away.
On a failed. Oh, as far as its speed allows away from you. Okay. All right.
And it's surrounded by a phantasmal force wall that I think is real, and now Finn is scaring it also. So it's probably going to make a triangle.
Yeah, so actually, let's see. When that happened, it was here. So hang on. This guy never took any damage because he didn't get attacked. So it would be... How fast does it move? It doesn't move very fast. So
yeah, it doesn't.
5, 10, 15. And it's not attacking Gallibond. It just appears to be trying to get out the closest exit. And in fact, we'll just say Gallibond, when it starts to move, or he just jumps over to the wall because he sees it's trying to run by. So, all right. Sorry about that.
No, it's fine.
And did you say it was bloodied and somewhere and all that?
Oh, yeah. That's what the little splotch on him means.
Okay, there we go. And let me check the shape on that then, because that got me in trouble last time. Could be the GTS here. 20 feet of a point you choose. And this is a 5-foot square in it, so that's ugly. Actually, I don't care if I put Gallibond to sleep. Well, I do, actually, because he might get in the way of the spell. So this thing... Yes. Casting it in a place where I think I'm going to put all the... That won't work. Actually, but it'll work there.
If...
It'll work
there. If you put it here...
That works even better.
Oh, no.
That's 25. Well, I don't think you can put yourself to sleep with this one, can you?
Oh yeah, you can because it's all creatures.
Yeah, you can't put me to, you can't put me to sleep. I'm immune to sleep.
Okay, but he's not worried about you. He's worried about himself.
Oh.
And
have you moved already?
I haven't moved yet. But the movement ain't going to help much.
Well,
because I can't place it anywhere where.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, you could. Because if you move to where you can see out, you can put it outside the room, heading back in.
Oh, you think? Oh, yeah. Okay, so put
it there. Here, put it there, and then that would potentially get Gallibond, but it wouldn't.
Gallibond's just going to run away anyways. I mean, he's not really doing anything.
Yeah. So that's a potential, but yeah, that's as good as you're going to get because as soon as you try to get far enough away not to hit Gallibond, you're also not going to be able to hit.
Yeah, that's not good. So we have the other thing. The GTS can wait a minute. We have the other thing, which is more freaking this. Oh, wait a minute. I have another thing. I've only pulled that one off one. I've only pulled that one out once too. 15-foot cube.
Okay.
15-foot cube. That would go through the wall. But you say I'm always at the corner of the 15-foot cube. So...
Okay, yes. If you're thinking of what I think you're thinking of, you probably want to get right next to it.
Because it can't go through the wall, huh?
And then push it away from you, like maybe towards the entrance. So like if you were over here... Whoops, I'm sorry. If you were over here... then let me double check what the...
Well, that's 15.
Yeah, that's the problem is, if you're there, you're going to get...
Well, then what's wrong with where I was?
What if you got here and pushed it back towards the web? If you push it back to the web, would it have to make another dexterity check to get out?
Oh, yeah, that'll do also.
Plus...
Well, no, it's still 15 in Gallibond.
Yeah. Yeah, okay, I see. I think you're probably right, Finn. If you get here or if you get here, then
I'm pushing forward. Boom.
You're pushing forward and not going to affect Gallibond. So, yeah. The only problem is if you're right there, there's no place for him to go because it's right against the wall. So you're not going to move him at all if you're right there. If you're here, you might push him to this square here, but again, you're not going to move him very far.
Yeah, that doesn't matter. What I'm looking for is damage right here.
Okay. All right. So now is that what is that? Is that a dex save or a con save?
Con save.
Constitution.
He might have some con save.
Yeah, I think he does, but he still has to roll. And he screwed that up. All right, so you're casting it at second level, right? So 11 and 8, that is 19 points. Okay, hey, how would you like to kill this mimic?
Nice.
Hold on. I'm trying to do too many things at once. Okay, so we're back here. He's like, okay, this is the I think we did it this way before. I tell you what, this thing is I Want to Rock from Twisted Sister. When he goes forward, it's like twang, and then goes splattering against the wall.
Okay.
So it has to come with a line.
Okay. So what's your line?
The line is, yow! Dead gnome! I don't think so.
And indeed. Yeah. And indeed, that goes. And I was forgetting to do something. Yeah, I was forgetting to do something throughout this whole fight. Darn it. Okay. Well, let me just see. Just for the sake of giggles and grins, I'll give each of you. All of you cast spells, right? Or
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, you were supposed to give us weird reactions.
All magic?
Yeah.
Wild magic?
Wild
Yeah.
magic?
The wild magic reaction. So I'm just going to give each of you one roll. Okay. That's for Dorzaphir. Dorzaphir, you get butterfly wings.
Start floating.
Abinadom, you have red, purple, and green. They're not exactly welts, but they are like red, purple, and green freckles that appear on your skin, and then they erupt in showers of sparks.
That is awesome.
And I cast prestidigitation at the same time. Woohoo!
Okay, and then Finn, nothing happens to you.
Oh my God! You went from a nat 20 to a nat 1.
Yeah. So all right. So that's what happens to you guys. I should have rolled a d20 every time you cast a spell, but I'm just doing it one time for each of you. So we'll just say that Finn got lucky and nothing happened. And Delabine goes from being extremely terrified during all this, and then he plugs his ears when that thunder wave goes off, because it's a huge sound that's audible for up to 300 feet away, and you're doing it inside a relatively enclosed stone chamber, so it just echoes around and everything. And he covers his ears, and then he opens his eyes, and he sees the mimic laying there dead. And when it dies, it reverts from the barrel form, which it kind of has had, to this real odd monstrosity that looks kind of like a slug, except with skin that is drier than a slug. It's more like skin like a toad than a slug. And it's got this big mouth with jagged teeth and a big tongue that is out of it. And let me see what no, that's not it. Where's the creatures? I thought this thing had creatures. Oh yeah, there it is. Creatures and monsters. Okay, and mimic. Okay, so just to give you an idea, that's what it looks like.
Nice.
Yeah. So, or that would be what it looks like when it's formed into the shape of a chest. The eyes are on it, and it's got all those teeth and that tongue, but the skin looks kind of like a toad. But the whole body is just shaped kind of like a slug. So it doesn't really have separate legs or anything like that. And we're a little bit over time, so we're going to go ahead and wrap for tonight. But between this time and next time, the three of you can all level up to level 4.
Nice.
Because then what we will do next week is we will work out, what, if anything, the gnomes can offer to help you guys against the dragon, and then get you on your way back to Phandalin.
Yeah. All right. I sent you a message with her Discord account.
Okay. All right.
It's an interesting run. If you're trying to find a storyline for your sandbox game, and she's worked with me as a twin before.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, and it's a really interesting storyline if that's the kind of thing that you want to do. I've rearranged Phantom of the Opera.
Oh, okay.
But she also plays like, I've seen her play like 3 other characters at this point.
Okay. Yeah, that would be great. I will try to reach out to her during in the next day or 2, and send her the information about the game. See if I can invite her to the Discord server, and then figure out what her ID on Roll20 is, and invite her to the game that way. So that between now and next week, she'll have a chance to get a character made for this game. We'll go ahead and start her at probably 2nd or 3rd level. And, so she'll be pretty much even with the rest of the party, and then go forward. Yeah.
The mathematical mean of the party, anyway.
Yeah.
Let's see.
All right. Well, thank you, gentlemen, for playing. And we did have, we still have Turbo. Turbo has been on the stream almost all night. So thank you, Turbo, for hanging out with us. And
thanks
we
for
hope
watching, dude.
Yeah. And
Thanks.
Everybody have a wonderful week, and we will reconvene next Thursday at 8 p.m. for another session of the Dragon of Icespire Keep. Or Peak, I should say. All right, everyone, have a great night, and we will talk to you later.
See ya.
See you guys.
Bye.